Welcome to Game Over Here, the video game podcast created by gamers for gamers, with your host Leon,
Dave,
and guest this week we've got Andrew
Voltoth.
Jackson, Voltoth, the Twitch streamer that you may know of Voltoth. He is joining us. How you doing this week, my man?
I'm doing alright, all things considered.
No, fair enough, my man. Fair enough.
you were very eager to get in on the podcast there. You were even jumping over our intros. You were like, me! Listen to me!
I'm just overexcited.
Yeah.
Made it! Yay!
Yay! This is your sort of first foray into the world of podcasting, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Are you, what do you normally do?
Normally, I spend most of my time playing games, and occasionally someone watches.
Tell us more.
Well, as I'm sure you're aware by now, by the title and the tweet that went out earlier, I am a Twitch streamer. Sometimes.
Awesome. What does that actually involve? Is that like a full-time thing?
Not as of yet, no. Ideally, it would be, but for the moment, it's just a hobby thing.
Cool.
Primarily just playing games for friends and to raise awareness of games I find interesting. But, yeah.
Sure. What actually sort of first turned you on to the twitching? What got you into it?
Actually, that was a couple of my other friends who, incidentally, I found through Twitch.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mentioned to them that I could play some games that they wanted to see, and so I did. And it just kind of went from there.
Excellent.
Nice, man. I see, like, the Twitch thing for me, like, I've tried it, like, sort of in the past. Like, I a long time ago, just on my own, just put up my own game name, Einfang, which, you know, you can add me on Steam, PSN, all that kind of jazz. Just look up
All the plugs.
and find us. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, I just kept playing the wrong games, in short. I found I kept playing Final Fantasy. And
I remember your legendary Final Fantasy VIII game. Every time I checked you on streaming, it was like, I am just going through swathes and swathes of text.
Yeah. And there was other times where it was literally, I think there was like an hour of me just being completely lost because I had no idea where to go. And like,
Isn't that the best thing, to watch someone just have no idea what they're doing?
Yeah.
You know, but
That's what attracts me to Twitch, anyways.
I was going around in the garden, you know, like, because you know what I mean by the garden kind of thing, yeah. So yeah, I was going around in that, and I was just sort of going around like the shores kind of thing, like going, right, maybe it's this island that I need to go to or something, because I've got no idea where I've got to go right now. And like the thing is, I think I went around the map like a couple of times as well. It was really that bad. It was just like, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I think it was like I hadn't like played it in a while.
Yeah.
And I sort of just loaded it up and I was like, right, I'm here. So
It really surprises me that you're playing a Final Fantasy game and don't know what you're doing.
I think 8 is probably the one I know the least. I mean, 7 is my game. I know that far too well.
So is there such thing as the wrong game to play?
Not that I know of. Sure, there are games that won't get as many views as others, but as long as you enjoy the game, then there is no such thing as a wrong game.
No, fair point. I just sort of, the thing is that I'm a completionist. So in other words, if I'm gonna start it, I feel like I've got to go all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but you don't have to do that all in one sitting.
Yeah. No,
Hold on there, guys. This is going to be an 80-hour gameplay. I hope you've bought snacks.
And plenty of Red Bull.
Loo breaks are optional.
I think it might be kind of cool. I think I'd like to try and do, like, maybe Final Fantasy VII over a short amount of time, if I could. If you know what I mean. Like, I'm not saying like do a speed run. I'm like a proper speed run, but I'm saying like still go through it properly.
Just start to finish.
Yeah. But because I know that game quite well, I reckon I could probably do the first disc. I don't know. I'm just gonna just got to think about this. I mean, I can get out of Midgar fairly quick. Like, it's quite easy to get out of Midgar.
It all depends on how much of the side quests you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
that's true. I mean, I don't know Final Fantasy at all. I'll admit that right now. I've never played any mainstream, as it were, Final Fantasy game. I have played Final Fantasy. Hang on a second, let me find what it is.
It's the Final
Is it
Fantasy
like a
Game & Watch
tactics game
Special
maybe or
Edition.
something, or?
Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube.
Oh, wow,
Ah,
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And a bit of X2 on the PS2, but that's it. I
Oh,
never
wow,
really got into
X2.
any of them.
Jesus, that's like the worst experience that you can get. Of Final
Yeah,
It's not
Fantasy.
even
I
a
would-
Final Fantasy. That's just a dressing game.
I was completely lost. I had no idea.
It's the Final Fantasy fashion game.
Final Fantasy meets The Sims.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it was. We're going to market this at girls. Clearly, we're going to do well.
Did
Good
well
luck
though.
with
It
that.
did well, and like the fact of is that it's in the the HD remake bundle thing that they've re-released.
Well, I don't know if that was
a
just because they
fucking
wanted to do
billion
a
times now because of all the different generations that it's gone to.
I don't know if it was just because they were doing a 10 HD and they were like, well, we've got space on the disc for something else. What should we do? I suppose we better put 10.2 on it as well.
I assume it's probably on the same kind of engine in some sense, so it was quite easy to probably port them both. So they were like, you know what, why not? While you're at it.
I'm sure that would probably condemn the bundle, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe it's for the people that have never fully experienced 10.2. So you're buying 10, but you're also getting 10.2 as well as a.
For those
was
who
it both the
haven't
same?
experienced 10.2, count yourselves lucky.
Yes. Now you could experience the joy and pain that everyone else has.
Oh, brilliant.
You mentioned speedrunning. Is this something that you've tried?
No, it isn't. I don't know any games well enough to really try that. Not to mention
it's
the
a lot of
games I
hours.
usually play tend to be kind of freeform
Yeah.
and go on a bit. So I don't think a speedrun is really practical in that sense.
No, fair enough, man. I mean, I've been watching speedruns for a while now, and I've been going, oh man, I'd really love to try and learn a game like that, but it's just the sheer man hours that you've got to put into something like that to be able to get it down.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't think I've got time for it.
Plus the fact that there's the whole glitching and hacking a game as well. So you kind of need to know the inner workings of the game. So you can know, right, if I do this, this, and this, I somehow managed to skip 3/4 of the game.
Exactly.
And if I do this, this, and this, will my game explode and kill me?
Yes. Probably the answer is yes.
Yes.
Oh man.
So what's your favourite game that you enjoy streaming, or you've streamed the most?
That's kind of a tough one. I don't really have a favorite game per se because I play that many of them. Back when I first started, my first streaming game was. Excuse me 1 second. I have to clear my throat. My first streaming game was Elite Dangerous.
Oh, nice.
And I wouldn't exactly count that as a game, more so an experience.
Yes. It's a how far I can go through space without,
Dying.
Yeah.
Turns out pretty damn far.
How far did you actually get in it? Were you sort of the pirate preying on the weak and innocent, or did you go sort of like the trader route?
No, I took the pussy way out and went into solo play. See, I'm a bounty hunter at the moment because the ship I have, in fact the only ship I have, is the Vulture, which is a new ship.
Oh, okay.
It's designed specifically to combat ships larger than itself. So I just fly into res sites and blow up anything that's wanted.
And then you make your money. It's a
Yep.
living.
Yep, someone's got to do it. But aside from that, my go-to game is really Factorio.
Yes, I was already going to mention that. You got me into that game. Oh, that game is amazing, but you lose
Yes, it
so
is.
many hours to it. Just the sheer amount of tweakability. Would you,
Right.
for our listeners who have never heard of Factorio, please explain what it is?
Well, everyone knows Minecraft by now.
Yes.
So it's basically Minecraft, but with factories instead of worlds. And you are trying constantly not to get your face eaten by the biters, which will come in droves if you pollute the planet too much. And
Yep.
you have to pollute the planet in order to set up your factory. So it's a very delicate balancing act. But it's a
Exactly.
game all about efficiency and automation, and it's extremely addictive.
Yeah. See, that's what I found was the biggest time sink was I would build something, and it would take me absolutely ages to do it, and then I'd be like, oh, but wait a minute, if I do
I can
it
do
this
it better
way,
this way.
yeah, and I was like, right, that's it, completely scrap it, start again, and then I'd tweak it up, and then I'd be spending too much time fine tuning the conveyor belts and everything else, and then suddenly a horde of aliens would come in and sweep and destroy everything. So I'd have to
Yeah.
restart, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to concentrate on defense this time, but then I wouldn't have enough. And then at that point, you suddenly realise that 3 weeks have gone past, and
Yeah.
people are ringing to make sure that you're okay.
That's pretty much it. I mean, Factorio, when it eventually releases, should come with a health warning.
Yeah, totally. It's basically like Civilization but moddable.
Yes and no. Civilization is more strategic. You basically have to think 5 turns ahead because of its turn-based nature. It's kind of like chess in that respect, but Factorio, on the other hand, while you do have to think ahead to get everything working properly, you can just wing it, and it
True.
might kind of work.
That's the best kind. I got to a level where I had to build train tracks.
Yeah.
So I was like, awesome, I shall mine all the minerals in order to build the train tracks. And then did that. So I built this huge, wonderful train set that I was like, I'm really proud of this. And then it was like, and now your mission is to collect all the minerals. And I was like, well, crap, I haven't actually got anything left. And then I realized that the big mining areas were basically hoarded by all aliens that I needed to build the train tracks to. So I was like, I haven't got anything left except to attack them with train tracks.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that. You can just go on a destruction rampage using your train, which is rather entertaining.
I also found out that your truck that you build is fairly robust as well and can quite easily take out your own base with it.
Not anymore.
No?
In recent changes, the car has been scaled back quite a bit. In fact, you can't shoot out of it anymore. Instead, it
Aw.
has its own built-in machine gun.
Okay.
And the next version up from that is a true military vehicle, the tank,
Nice.
with working tank cannon.
So they're the developers are still quite active with the game then.
Oh yes, there's a new patch every other week, near enough.
Wow. Okay.
Most of the recent patches have been aimed at optimization, so I think they're about ready to gear up for putting it through Steam Early Access, which would be
Nice.
amazing, just having the access to the Steam Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
not 100% sure on that yet. But it does run a hell of a lot better than it did when I first picked it up. And there's a
Awesome.
lot to it.
And obviously there's the challenge packs as well.
If you get the extra tier of the game, yes.
Which you should do, and you get shiny wallpapers as well. So there's no reason not to.
You do, and the wallpapers are amazing.
Well, there we go. Well, I mean, I'm sold on the wallpapers alone. Come on.
Yeah.
I can always
Every
do with
game
more
should have-
wallpapers.
Yeah, every game should come bundled with wallpapers. It's like a new law.
And soundtracks.
I am a sucker for soundtracks.
Oh,
If
yeah,
a game
me too.
has a soundtrack, then I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Done.
most of the time, even if I don't like the game genre, I will just go out of my way to have the soundtrack. Like Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm not a fan of that game to play, personally. I mean, the art style is fantastic, and it looks and feels amazing, but it's a platformer. I don't get on with platforms.
Fair enough.
The
I
soundtrack,
really enjoyed
however-
it. I really enjoyed Ori and the Blind Forest. I still haven't fully. Well, I haven't finished it yet. But I'm not too far off now, and yeah, no, I'm really loving it, man. Yeah, it's just a shame you're not into platformers.
I never have been, but the soundtrack, on the other hand, is one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really nice. It is really nice. I mean, what games have you kind of been playing recently, anyway, Andy?
Over the past week, I have a list here. See, preparation. I have been playing Diablo 3.
Oh,
That
nice.
was off stream. That was just to try and level up a bit in the new season and to kit out my Meteor Spam Wizard, which incidentally works pretty damn well. It's a sucker for lagging games, though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then I was playing Spaz, Space Pirates and Zombies, with Bounty Hunters.
Oh yeah.
I've not heard of that one.
It's a top-down space shooter, kind of like... I guess it's not really like anything.
Yeah. No, I think I saw you playing it on stream the other day.
I think you saw a bit of it, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's from what I could make out, yeah, in space, spaceships, and you're kind of
You manage your fleet, you upgrade through unlocking different technologies as you progress through the galaxy in search of the legendary motherlode of Rez. Which...
Because everyone needs that.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, of course. Don't you have a chunk of Rez in your safe at home?
No,
If not,
I'm
why
still
not?
searching.
You haven't found the motherlode yet, then.
No, sadly not.
Oh, brilliant. What else, man?
I was kind of an idiot and decided to give EVE Online another try because they sent me another offer that was just too good to pass up. And I used to be fairly decent at that game. I mean, I was a fleet commander in a relatively large alliance out in the middle of nowhere. And I used to know how things worked. But now I come back a year later, I haven't got a clue. Everything has changed. None of my ships work like they used to. And I don't know what's going on anymore. So
Isn't that the fun? The relearning of it all?
Well, I suppose, but I like things better when I knew how they worked.
Yeah, of course. I totally agree.
I don't want to fly into a fight to find out that I can't scramble this guy because he has a new module. What does that do? Oh wait, I'm in a pod. No, I'm dead.
Yeah. And especially the death in EVE is fairly brutal, so you want to kind of...
If you lose a ship in EVE, you lose that ship.
Oof.
There's no getting it back. You have to rebuy it, fittings included. And if you lose your pod in EVE, and you don't have an up-to-date clone, then you lose months upon months, depending on your skill level, of in-character training.
Oh,
yeah, that sounds a bit too hardcore for me.
Yeah, the character training is all done in real time. So even while I'm not logged in, my character is training. So if you don't have an up-to-date clone and you get podded, you will rage quit and likely go and punch your monitor in the face.
Yeah, I think I'll skip that one.
Yeah.
I tried it once and I was just bored to death. I just couldn't find anything that I enjoyed about it at all.
It does
saying.
take a very specific kind of person to play it. I mean, it's great with friends, and if you get in with a good community, it's fantastic. Some of the best fun you'll ever have. But if you just go in it alone, without an idea of what you're doing, it can be pretty boring. It's basically Excel in space.
I was just about to say that's exactly how I've heard it. It's effectively an interactive spreadsheet with stars.
Pretty much, yeah. And occasionally explosions, usually yours.
Awesome. Have you got involved in any other MMOs?
Over the years, yes. There was actually one I made back when I was in school
Oh,
with a
nice.
few friends. And as far as I know, that's still going.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes.
What was it called?
Repels.
How do you spell that?
Rappelz.
You know what? I think I may have heard of that.
I think I might have told you.
I think you may have done. Quick to the internet.
To the interwebs. Go, Dave. Go.
But
Yes.
that was an interesting learning experience, trying to see how everything interlocks with one another, and SQL, and GUIs, and C#.
I can imagine. Yeah, old school, free to play fantasy MMO RPG. Fight a boss, tame a boss, be a boss.
Yep. Aimed all around pets. That one. It's kind of like Pokemon now. There's so many of the damn things. I tried
That's
to get
great.
back into it a while ago to see how things have progressed, but I don't have a clue. In fact, I can't remember my login information.
So what did you do as part of the making of this?
I was the database guy. I did all the back-end SQL and the query stuff. Basically making sure that the game program and the game client and all the servers worked with the database to input the correct information so that people couldn't hack around to get what they wanted, as opposed to having to work for it.
Awesome. That sounds pretty cool, actually. So you were kind of like working on the glue holding it all together.
Kind of, yeah. Thankfully, I wasn't doing it alone, otherwise I would have pulled all my hair out ages ago.
Yeah, it does sound fairly intense.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun project to do, though. I'd love to do something similar, but maybe less stressful, in the future. But no plans for that as of yet.
Cool.
Fair enough. Have you ever worked on any other games? After this, after that?
As funny as you might say, yes, I have.
Oh.
You may not have heard of a game called Uplink,
Can't say I have.
right? It's a... Go, Dave.
Oh, frantically typing.
Yep.
It's an old game now. I think it came out in 97-ish.
Oh, okay.
I've got Uplink as a video game released in 2001.
There we go.
Introversion software.
Yep, that's the one. Based around hacking.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you take the role of an agent, an uplink agent, and you accept contracts to infiltrate high security systems and steal data, corrupt data, edit data, copy files, all that kind of thing. And your objective, obviously, is not to get caught.
Okay.
Awesome.
If you do get caught, then they seize your gateway and you have to start from scratch.
That's amazing. It's basically an up-to-date modern version of the game Hacker.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh.
But I didn't work on the game itself. I was responsible for the soundtrack.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. So I mean, let's get into some of your music then, my man. So I mean, you have got a SoundCloud. How can they find that?
The SoundCloud is voltoth.soundcloud.com, and the Bandcamp is voltoth.bandcamp.com. Currently, there's only 2 albums up there, but none of the music is copyrighted, so feel free to do with it as you please, as long as proper credit is given for the original author, of course.
Yeah, no, fair enough, man. Well, that's good, man. That's good of you to do that. I mean, what do you play, my man?
Piano.
Oh, awesome.
Well,
You sort of start from quite a young age?
Kind of. It was more of a hobby back then, but now I just don't have the time anymore, unfortunately. So my keyboard is just sitting gathering dust on top of my wardrobe.
Oh, I have fellow friends who played piano, and they were saying stories of when they were younger that they had to hang by their fingers to make them longer so they could reach all the keys properly. Is this something that you had to do, or is
As far as
a
I
myth?
know, that's purely rumor. But my fingers are naturally kind of long, thankfully.
So no hang from banisters or tie them to bits of string and getting people to run away from you.
For me, it was all about the coordination. That was my hang-up.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I understand that one. Like, on just at the drumming level or something like that, it's just a bit like, oh shit, coordination. If you haven't got that, you're fucked.
Big time.
Yep, very much so. I mean, everyone knows the phrase tripping over your own feet.
Yeah.
You can easily trip over your own hands.
Yeah.
It's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
It's even worse when they're both doing completely different things.
I could imagine.
So I mean, tell us about the albums that you've got up on your. Is it your Bandcamp?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What can the viewers sort of get from your album's listening experience?
The Sins of War album is an acoustic album that was entirely played on the keyboard, and the other melodies were input via my music editing software. Whereas the Future of War album is entirely software made using pre-recorded sound bites.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of tweaked a little. Well, a lot. A lot of work went into it.
How long would it actually take to do an album or a track?
Album depends how long you want each track to be, and how many tracks you want on the album. As for each track, that depends on what you want the track to sound like.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a track reasonably quickly in, say, 40 minutes, as long as you have a melody that you want in your head, and you can get that through onto whatever medium you want.
That's right.
But to actually make a professional album, or professional track rather, that takes a bit more effort. Trying to get all the sound balance right, and all of the reverb, trying to make sure your levels aren't too high in some areas, like too much bass, too much treble. That takes most of the work.
Indeed. It also sounds like Leon trying to set up for a podcast.
No, I mean, I totally understand on that kind of that music kind of level. It really is. It you can just bang out a song really quickly if you've got everything in your head and you know what you want. Then yeah, it's fine. But as soon
getting it to sound right in comparison to everything else. Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, like, the thing is that if you know on an album kind of level, if you haven't got that inspiration in the first place to be able to do it, you don't stand a chance. It's it's really
true.
hard just to come out with something with, you know, without any sort of like prior thinking about it in some sense. That preparation thing once again there.
Thankfully, I had a lot of time to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the sort of thing that you're, say, walking along and someone's whistling a tune and then you're like, oh, that's quite catchy, and then you sort of go home and then suddenly you're like, I could add something else to that? Or do you just sort of wake up in the morning and go, I've got an amazing song in my head that I'm just going to knock out?
Well, some artists can do either or. For me, it's all about improvisation. Like, with the albums I have up at the moment, I wanted to do soundtrack kind of things that would work well with most game genres. And that's the kind of theme I was going for. And I think I nailed it with the Future of War, but not so much with the Sins. I'm still not completely satisfied with that one.
All right.
No, fair enough, man.
Which was the one that you showed me?
That was Future, I think.
Yeah, because that was really good. I really
The
liked it.
electronic one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Future.
No, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
We-
So I think we need to get into the question that Mike always loves to ask.
The two questions from Mike, the disembodied Mike that's here in spirit.
Yes.
While he's like gallivanting in Birmingham.
Some people have all the fun.
But yeah, no, we've kind of asked games wise. Was there any more actually? Now thinking about it, I think we kind of interrupted and went on a little tangent.
Was there any more?
Games wise that you've been playing
All right.
this week.
Yes, actually, there were a couple more, but nothing like PC related or computer related. These were all physical games.
Is in like board games or something? Or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I totally want to talk about some board games. I'm in.
Cool. Well, first off, I played some Cards Against Humanity.
Ah, yes, that is awesome.
But that never fails to get a laugh.
What was the, would you say, the highlight of the Cards Against Humanity session? The phrase that really stood out?
Mispronunciation on my part. I misread something as desert pizza when it was actually dessert pizza.
Oops.
So that was kind of a theme throughout the entire session. Added a bit more humor, I think.
Nice.
Obviously, we were using the not safe for work version because that's just way more fun.
Oh,
absolutely.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
Then I played a bit of Game for Life. Or Game of Life.
Oh, wow. I haven't played that in years.
What, the original Game of Life with the spinner in the middle and the pegs
Yes.
and the getting married and going jobs and stuff? Oh,
that was
awesome.
actually my first time playing it, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's a good board game.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I ended up winning, so that may have contributed to how much I enjoyed it, but still.
Amazing. Did you go on to the mansion or did you stop off at the cottage?
No, I don't think we played that version.
Oh, really?
Because in the one I was playing, it was to do with entourages and gaining stars for fame. And if you got 5 stars and went into the VIP area, you won. As long as you
you have the
right
credit card thing. Is that right? There's an electronic credit card?
Don't think so.
No.
Okay.
We go. So we're getting mixed up on different versions now.
No, there's about 4 or 5 different versions of Game of Life.
Yeah.
I had the original board game when you were younger, which is the one where you start out and you pick your coloured car, and if you're a male, you'd be a blue peg, if you're female, you'd be a pink
no,
peg.
I remember playing that version as well.
And then you either go straight into a job or you go through university, and then you come out, and then you work your way around, and you have to get married, and then you get kids. And at the end, you get a choice. You can either stop off at the college, retire and get a small amount, or you can risk it all and then head for the mansion and end up living like a millionaire at the end. That's at least the version I played.
That was a completely different version to the one I played.
But
It still
I know
sounds
that
awesome.
I know there's another version where you have a credit card and then you have to go off, and then there's different loops. So you can go around like a fame loop or a holiday loop or a job loop, and then you have different stars and you pick up cards and then you swipe in and make money.
That seems like a completely different game as well.
Yeah. It is, for sure.
The version I played just had you starting in a limousine with one entourage, and you could get a maximum of 10, I believe.
Okay.
10 entourages. And the objective was to get your 5 stars of fame. And then go into the VIP area and stop on the fame star that meant you made it. But along the way, you had to collect up wealth to buy more entourages and the usual stuff.
Nice. So effectively, you're playing the Kim Kardashian version of Game of Life.
I
Was
maybe.
there like make a sex tape like a card or something?
No, but there was one where you had to come up with your own catchphrase and commercial pose. That was kind of awkward.
Amazing. What was yours?
I can't remember now. It's probably for the best.
Excellent.
And then we moved on to the final game, which was Dungeons and Dragons: Lords of Waterdeep.
Okay. I haven't checked that one out.
That was amazing. That was my first time playing that as well. But I
Did you
had
win?
seen. Yes, I did.
Is that the one? Is that like a tile kind of base game? So you're getting the tiles out, or is it
no,
actually a board?
It's on a board,
Yeah.
and you control agents of Neverwinter for whichever house you decide to side with.
Oh, okay.
And you had to move them around the board to collect resources to complete quests. You also had intrigues, which were hidden and visible only to you, which could either boost your gains or interrupt your opponent.
Okay, fair enough.
Nice.
Then you
So it's kind of like, you set off my trap card. Now you must pay the price. Foolish mortal.
yeah. And the victory conditions are buildings, resources, quest completed, and your lord condition. If your lord, like for example mine was the moneylender, which meant that I got an extra 4 victory points for every commerce or piety quest that I completed at the end. So I was just grabbing all of the commerce and piety cards, completing as many as I could, and getting I think I only got 1 building in the entire game, but that was enough.
So you just won by making as much money as possible.
Oh no,
No.
it was
His points. Pay the points, right?
yeah, every time someone landed on my building, I would get an additional 2 victory points because I owned that property.
Right.
Whereas others give you other resources like gold, wood, iron, that kind of thing, or an intrigue card or something like that.
So it almost sounds a bit like Monopoly as well.
It kind of, yeah. It's like Monopoly crossed with a bit of Settlers of Catan.
Okay, fair enough.
But you
Was
don't have
Sorry.
the game board, you just have the game state. So you move your agents around, and that affects the game state, like what's available, because each spot only has a limited number of slots.
Okay.
So you can completely screw with your opponents by occupying a spot for a resource that they need.
Kind of like Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. And also,
So was there plenty of got wood jokes?
no.
Oh,
Strangely enough, there weren't.
sad. Every time I play Settlers of Catan, it just effectively just degenerates into, have you got some wood? No, I haven't got wood.
I have some wood.
Give me your wood.
That sounds so wrong.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it for all I played this week.
No,
Nice.
fair enough. So Dave, do you want to jump in with the Mike's last question?
Okay. So Mike's last question is, what's the most interesting thing you've eaten in the last 7 days?
Interesting as in good or interesting as in odd?
Either.
Well, interesting good was what I just ate. That was just a chicken roast dinner.
Awesome.
Nice.
Chicken, carrots, mash, huge Yorkshire pudding.
Ah,
Oh, man, that sounds so good.
classic is best.
Yep. As for most interesting, I tried a rather odd concoction.
Okay. All right, go on.
Alright, so plain boiled pasta,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
boiled with garlic, chili,
Okay.
black pepper,
Yeah.
and sprinkled with mint. Turns out it's actually kind of nice.
It sounds very flavoursome.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Yeah,
too
it
bad
is.
actually. No, not at all. It sounds
Tingly
pretty
on the tongue.
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very easy
I like
to
it.
prepare as well. Only took like 20 minutes, if that.
Well, there you go. So there we go. We got a recipe from Voltoth this week.
Yeah.
You're welcome,
Voltoth's special
Internet.
rice.
Need to put it up in the on the website. Add a tablespoon of garlic, slightly, simmer the spices, bring to a boil, drop down.
Dinner.
That's it.
Good work. I might have to
Show
try
me the
that.
monies. I want my royalties.
What would you call this concoction?
I'm calling it Voltoth special rice.
It's not rice, it's pasta.
Sorry, pasta. Sorry, pasta.
You should call it Voltoth special rice because it's not rice at all. It's actually pasta. That's
my
the,
bad.
that's the
I
twist.
could have swore you said rice for some weird reason. That's why my brain is going. Bleh. My bad. My bad.
Surprising pasta. The surprise is it has no pasta.
Patent pending.
Amazing.
I like it. I like it. I tell you what, let's get on some new releases, and I'm just having a look here. Destiny expansion here, guys, is going to be out by the time this podcast comes out. I'm going to have to give it a shot, aren't I? Just because of the fact that for podcast purposes.
Yeah, of course.
Because if I'm
Report
honest,
back.
I don't really want to go back to it. I'm kind of bored now. I've played that game to death. And
I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
But for me, not owning a console, it's never been one that's interested me.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough.
But aren't they trying to... This is the second expansion, or is this the first?
That's correct. It's the second
Second.
expansion, yeah.
So by now, aren't they panicking and trying to throw as much into it as possible to try and get people back?
But this is the weird thing, though, that there isn't a raid in this new expansion, which I thought was a really odd choice.
Yeah.
But apparently, the new weapons and all that kind of jazz.
Isn't it just like a map pack or something with a couple of new guns?
Pretty much, I'd say so. A couple extra missions and stuff. Apparently, weapons-wise, anything that you got kind of originally sort of from, vanilla Destiny in some sense, you can actually upgrade so that it has kind of like the same damage output as the sort of the more modern weapons, which is cool. I quite like that. So it means that all of your hard work that you did before isn't completely useless.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, they're trying things. We'll see what happens. And to be fair, on a level, they've still got a lot of players. Even though people are reporting that that they are kind of dropping, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot.
Is there still much to do though?
Nope.
So what's keeping people there?
I have no fucking idea. It's like people who keep playing COD all the time,
It's
Yeah.
basically just another deathmatch thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
I mean, to be
like
fair,
one more
I
fix,
like
one more fix,
doing
one more
the
fix.
raids and stuff. The raids are kind of cool, but it's just sort of getting the people together for it.
Yeah. With the declining player base, I can imagine that being quite an issue.
For sure.
And maybe they're sort of secretly working on a proper expansion. That once these minor DLC-ish-esque expansions are out of the way, that beginning next year they'll suddenly just go, but this is what we had all
too
along.
late. I think it'll be too late by then. I think they're people are really sort of dying off it now.
Are they even minor DLC? I mean, how much is this expansion going to
Oh
cost?
yeah, exactly. It's not even an expense. I can't even remember the cost because I've already paid for it because it was part of. Because I had the, I paid. I think it was like 30 quid or so to get these two. I feel ripped off basically for these because they have been really shit little expansions, really.
Yeah. This is why you don't pre-order.
But sometimes it does work out for you.
Yes, like Factorio.
Yes. And the next game that is being released this week, and a lot of people I know have pre-ordered, The Witcher Part the Third.
I haven't pre-ordered it, and I will be picking it up, just not yet. I definitely want to play this one though. I've never really been into the Witcher series, but this one has definitely piqued my interest for sure.
Would you like to? Sorry.
I didn't pre-order it per se. I got it free as part of a graphics card bundle.
Oh, nice.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Would you like to know the minimum system requirements for this bad boy?
Yes, please.
Intel CPU Core i5 2500K 3.3 gigahertz. AMD CPU Phenom 2 X4940.
Yep.
NVIDIA GPU GeForce GTX 660. AMD GPU Radeon HD 7870. 6 gig of RAM. 64-bit Windows 7 or 64-bit Windows 8. So that's it. 32 bits gone. DirectX 11 and 40 gig of hard drive space for minimum spec.
Nice.
That 6 gig of RAM requirement seems like a very odd number.
Yeah.
I
think that's the first game I've come across that requires 6 gig.
Bizarrely, there's not. It's 8 gig for recommended. So it's not.
Would have thought it would at least be double.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is.
Yeah, and I mean it is also coming out on the Xbox One and the PS4 as well. I believe like the they've sort of been still sort of talking about kind of the Xbox One stuff, because obviously there's the whole controversy of the it wasn't going to be in 1080p all the time and stuff like that. It was going to drop down to sort of like 900 and something. I can't remember what it was. But apparently they've brought in this new system that switches between them seamlessly, and it looks lovely and blah 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 blah. All this.
Well, if it just drops down in the cutscenes, then it doesn't really matter, in my opinion.
So, what else we got, Dave?
Oh, sorry, I was just about to say, and there's also a day one patch for Xbox One users for Witcher 3.
Oh yeah, because they're still working on it. They're still like tweaking it.
At least it's not day one DLC.
Yeah, the range, they've increased the 900p to 1080p because they're using dynamic scaling.
That's it. That's what they've called it. Yep.
You can actually get dynamic scaling on your desktop as well.
Can you?
Yep.
Yes. In fact, with my graphics card, I got Elite Dangerous to run at 4K, even though my monitor only supports 1080p.
Yeah.
Wow. I've tried that with my PC.
Everything scales up on the card when it's rendered, and then gets shrunk down to your monitor size.
Awesome. I think if I tried that on my PC, it would go and sit in a corner and cry quietly.
I think mine would die as well, in all fairness. Honestly, I think my graphics card is going like mad. It like really is. So, hey-o.
The next one that's coming out this week. Witcher is out on the 19th.
Yeah.
Destiny is also out on the 19th, which
Incidentally, if anyone already pre-ordered The Witcher 3 and has it on GOG, you can preload it now.
Interesting. Oh, but by the time they've heard this, they've already done that.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be out.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're living in the time zones. Also, there's something that will be out now, and is probably the greatest game ever created, is Farming Simulator 15.
Yes!
Yes!
The world demands more simulator games.
Absolutely. Where you can get to drive a tractor and milk cows.
I like driving a tractor.
Yeah, and that is out on everything. Xbox One, PS4, PC, 360, and PS3.
That is shocking. Why?
I know, because everyone
because
needs
they
a PC.
Oh, fuck,
You know,
man.
I thought this was already out on PC. Oh, it is. Sorry.
It is, yeah. The PC came out on October last year.
Yeah,
but,
this is the console release.
This is the console release, yeah.
Enjoy, console users. We're sorry.
Like, I just can't... I seriously, is there really a massive simulator market on the consoles?
Apparently there is.
Man.
I'm
People play
surprised there's a
this.
massive simulator market on the PC, to be honest. I mean, good ones like Euro Truck Simulator, I can understand because, they're good and they're actually a game. But Farming Simulator, don't know whether I'd actually count that as a game.
What's it? I mean, are you saying that that truck drivers are more valuable than farmers now?
No, not at all.
Twisting your words. I'm fucking you.
Not at all. Incidentally, any farmers out there, thank you for my dinner.
The chicken was
Absolutely.
lovely.
Just as an aside, doing a search for Farming Simulator on Twitch has found lots of channels. Lots.
Yeah.
And
it's because
ranging
the thing is
from
that like people like to think that people like watching people play shit games, and they deliberately pick up these kind of games just to be like.
Well, if you actually poke fun at the game and make your own comedy, then it can be entertaining. But if you just try and play through what essentially is a non-game, not so much.
Exactly.
There's even one here which has 135 viewers right now.
Wow. What are you doing with your lives, people?
Watching someone.
Who made you this way?
Right now they are mowing, harvesting corn.
Fair enough.
Riveting
the
stuff.
The only interesting part I find about Farming Simulator games, not that I've played any, but I've seen a couple of people play them, is the physics. They don't seem to have any.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos of airport simulators where the crazy stuff happens with the baggage carts.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen that actually.
There's a plane coming, I'm in space!
Brilliant.
Oh god.
It's all gone wrong!
Oh, brilliant. And what else have we got, Dave?
Okay, so that was the 19th. Moving on to the 20th, which is day of podcast release.
Yes.
Is a game that I've never heard of.
Neither had I until this.
Neon Struct.
No, yeah. I haven't heard of it either.
Okay. It's a political thriller stealth game from the same development team who brought the Lovecraftian procedural stealth roguelike Eldritch.
Oh, okay.
It does have a very interesting art style to it. I'll give them that. It's very vector-based.
It does. It does look really cool. But it's effectively sort of a futuristic-y sci-fi. It's got deliberate 1980s sci-fi vibe, apparently. It's an adventure story set in an history world.
Yeah, I can see that. And the screenshot I'm looking at right now has a giant robot peeking around a very dark corridor. It's kind of disturbing, really.
Indeed. I think it's one of those sort of games where it's going to come out and a few people are going to go, yay! And it's just going to lie there, and then people are going to just sort of pick it up as a whim. And it's probably going to be a good game, but it's just...
If you like the stealth games, sure.
Indeed.
Incidentally, it doesn't seem to have any multiplayer, and there are no plans for multiplayer, apparently.
Okay.
So this is a single-player only experience.
Oh, well, there we go.
Clearly, it's a game that they're going to just... For rainy Sunday afternoons when you've got nothing else to do.
Yep, pretty much.
That's it for the 20th. That's the only game coming up, because clearly it's so good that it only needs an entire day to itself.
Oh, of course.
On the 21st, we've got your favourite game, Leon. Carmageddon Reincarnation.
Go on. Move on.
That's coming out on the PC and the Mac.
So is that coming out of early access? Because it's currently in early access.
It's currently in early access.
I assume that's official release date now.
And that is official release date, yeah.
Right.
So everyone can enjoy the awesomeness that is Carmageddon Reincarnation. Or alternatively, go and pick up the original Carmageddon and have way more fun.
Yep.
Or go find an old Sega Mega Drive and pick up Twisted Metal.
Ah,
Oh,
yes.
yes. Twisted Metal.
I think it was on the Mega Drive.
No, it was on the PS1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was on PS1. I played the shit out of that game. I loved Twisted Metal, man.
That was the first multiplayer game I ever played with my dad.
Nice.
And he got so annoyed every time I beat him.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
And also coming out on that day is another game that I've never heard of, also for the Mac and the PC, called Interloper.
Sounds interesting.
I know. Apparently,
Well,
it's
so-
an RTS game where matches last 5 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Incidentally, developers, if you're going to make a game, don't make it have such a generic title. It's impossible to find.
Makes it very hard to actually search stuff.
Yep. See ya. Next.
Next, we have the...
Wow, this is a long title.
I know. When I first saw this, I was like, someone's screwed up, and they've kind of messed up how it's actually what it's called. But I did some searching on it, and no, this is actually the title.
Fuck.
Puzzle and Dragons Z and Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Brothers Edition. So you've got 2 games in one on the 3DS that has puzzles, dragons, and Super Mario Brothers.
Potentially.
Potentially. It's effectively what it was.
Cool.
It was a mobile game that did amazingly well. So they've decided to port it to the 3DS and take out the free-to-play aspect of it. And because it's on the Nintendo, they've decided to shove in Super Mario Brothers because you can.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because we all know that Super Mario games sell quite a lot.
They do.
Indeed.
They do. I've definitely jumped on that cash cow many times.
What
I've
you've
never really been that big into Nintendo games. Or any console games, really. PC gamer through and through.
Fair enough. I fucking
effectively what you've got
master
in this
race
game.
here. Fucking.
I never said that.
you're thinking it though. You're
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Effectively, the game is match 3 with roulette, collect Pokemon style things, and play as Mario.
There seem to be a lot of match 3 games popping up lately on various platforms.
They're so popular. People love that sort of stuff.
You're popular.
Popular.
So
Personally, I don't understand the appeal.
no, never will.
And there we go. That's the new releases for this week.
So-
There are maybe other games coming out, but they're the ones that I've got.
Well, I mean, on games that could be possibly coming out, Assassin's Creed Syndicate has been announced now. I must admit, haven't looked at any of the details for it, so we'll let you know another
It's
time.
going to involve killing people.
It'll be an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
Apparently, you
But
could
will
be...
it actually work?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Who knows? And you know,
Because Unity sure as hell doesn't.
it is a bit weird, Unity. I mean, even though I've been playing it, and it's been playing fine for me, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I suppose it's been a little glitch here and there, but not anything way as major as it's been hyped up to be.
I think if you got it on consoles, you got the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
But if you
I
got
heard
it
on
on
PC,
PC,
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Nah, not really playable.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fuck.
See, that's one case of where the PC Master Race doesn't come into effect.
Only because of lazy programming. Calling you out, Ubisoft.
That porting, yo.
And for games that have been delayed, we got Ratchet and Clank. Apparently, it's not going to come out until I think it's spring next year now.
Damn.
Yeah, I think
But-
it's because the fact that they've got the. I think they're bringing out a movie.
There's a movie?
Yeah, I think they are, and they're meant to be tying it together. So in other words, it's going to be like a movie game in some sense.
So are they planning to release the movie before the game or the game after?
I'm not sure.
The Ratchet and Clank movie is scheduled to be released in April 29 next year.
Yeah, there we go. So in other words, they're trying to tie it in with the movie. I think they're going to release it around the same time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Featuring...
On the topic of game delays, what are your guys' opinions on it? Because a lot of high-profile games these days have had quite some lengthy delays.
Well, I mean, like, I think people shouldn't announce it, announce when it's going to come out until they know that they definitely
Totally.
can hit it. It gets very frustrating, but sometimes I understand, like things, are beyond people's control, and unfortunately they have to, kind of delay it further. But as long as like the integrity of the game is still there, and that's what they're pushing for, then that's fine. But Ubisoft have been failing on that front. I mean, come on, Watch Dogs. That's the fucking crazy delay that it just never happened. That game was terrible. I really didn't get on with that game at all.
That game is just boring.
Yeah, it is.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah, it is so dull, that game. Unbelievably dull.
No, well, even Witcher 3 was delayed and has been pushed forward. So we should have had this back in May.
We're in May.
Sorry, no, we're getting it in May. Oh, brain fart. We're getting it now in May, but we had it before because hold on, just finding the actual when it was. February. And it was actually, and before that, it was autumn 2013. Before then.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, on that kind of level, a lot of people do announce delays and stuff like that. But if like I said, if the game's solid, then they've got nothing to worry about, really. I mean, like, I've recently a lot of people have been complaining about the heists, for example, for GTA. The fact that took such a long time.
Yeah.
But
and then it didn't work.
No, they've worked fine for me. I've done them, and they're pretty good. I've really enjoyed them.
But for GTA
the other thing
5
is, though,
itself... Sorry, go on, Dave.
Yeah, the other thing with release dates is that people do it deliberately because they want to generate hype. Because they go, I've got this amazing game, and we're going to give it to you now, at this point. Not now, but here. And everyone's going to go, oh my god, that's amazing! And they're all going, I've got to have it! And they're like, haha, but now you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. And they're like, oh my god, we can't wait. And they're I'm going to wait a little bit longer. And then we go, oh, fuck you,
Yeah, pretty much. On the subject of game delays, though, personally, a couple of weeks here or there doesn't bother me at all. I mean, obviously there can be porting issues, compatibility issues, and they're unforeseen until really late on in development.
Yeah.
But for delaying a game or announcing a game with a release date, when you clearly don't have anything even close to a game, you can't foresee how long it's going to take for your vision to come to reality.
Yeah.
So why set a release date when you're not sure you can even attain it? I mean, sure, set yourself goals, but don't announce it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Blizzard are good at that with their soon, and it'll be ready when it's ready. And they won't even know. They'll be working on games for years, months, and you just won't know because they just don't say anything about it at all. And it's like when they start hinting about it, it's because it's starting to wrap up. And even then, it's not until it's like effectively coming out on your doorstep or even in the shops that suddenly go, oh yeah, it's out. Release date was last week. Why haven't you got it yet?
Sneaky. Oh yeah, this exists. What?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Wow.
Speaking of Blizzard.
Oh yeah, go on.
There's a movie coming.
There's a movie.
Yes.
Of the wowness.
Of the wowness that they have been keeping so close to their chests.
Yep.
Still not entirely convinced by the subject matter, but still.
They have just released the screenshots of the orcs. You can now see what the orcs are going to look like in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Holy crap. They look good. They look really good, and
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dave is into orcs.
Yay! I didn't mean it like that. I meant as in they've obviously because they haven't done the cartoon version or a CG version. They've gone with a real time action thing, so they've actually got proper look. They look exactly like in the game, but in real life, effectively.
Right, so it's all live action.
Yeah.
That's
just
cool.
with a lot of fancy CGI.
There will be CGI. There's got to be CGI in it.
Oh yeah,
Of course there will be.
But
I'm still not entirely convinced by setting it in WoW though. I mean, a Diablo movie, I'd watch the hell out of that. But WoW, never been a fan.
Well, maybe there will be a Diablo movie down the road because obviously of the franchises, WoW is probably slightly bigger than Diablo.
Be totally up for a StarCraft movie though. That would be awesome, man. Fucking
I'm not even that big a fan of StarCraft, but I would watch the shit out of a StarCraft movie.
Absolutely.
Raynor and Kerrigan, fucking yeah, man. That'd be so cool.
So good. Effectively, every time that the Blizzard release in-game trailers for be it StarCraft, Diablo, whatever, everyone
they
is
are
just
basically movies.
They are, and everyone's just like, "Why have you not done a movie of this? Do movies." Their CG department is insane. They are.
Yeah, for sure, man. Big time.
But you never know if the WoW movie does well and it makes them oodles and oodles of cash that they may do a Diablo or a StarCraft movie down the line.
Incidentally, on the subject of game movies, a few of them seem to be cropping up now. Like Mad Max, WoW. We had Final Fantasy a while back. Yeah.
There was one that took me by surprise. The Tron 3.
Tron 3.
Yes. There is now a trailer for Tron 3.
Oh, there's a trailer out.
Yeah.
I knew that they were working on it and stuff. So I was just sick. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that trailer.
Yeah, me too.
Totally
Don't blame me.
I will blame you entirely.
Okay.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to that film. Anyway, well, I think that's about as much as we've got for this week. So I think we should wrap this baby up. So, I mean, Voltoth, man, where can we find all your jazz?
Oh, before we wrap up, I would just like to give a huge shout out to everyone involved in the Just Giving charity event that was run over the weekend.
Ah, yes.
Which we completely forgot to mention.
Yeah, I was just gonna like not mention it, and then I was like, you know what? All right, yeah, okay. Now you said it, I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it now.
We were actually part of that, and it was the energy.
It was pretty spectacular. I really enjoyed being part of it. I did kind of check out quite a lot of the stream over the weekend. And I'm really, well, it exceeded my expectations, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
Because honestly,
definitely exceeded mine. Considering our initial goal was £100, and we reached 2,000.
Exactly, £2,000 and 30. Was it £2,030? That's what I.
We actually hit the 2,000 mark.
Yeah, because someone donated the rest.
4 a.m. This morning.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you to that person. That's amazing. But yeah, I had no expectations whatsoever going into it because I had no idea what was going on. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was great to see everyone pulling together for it. And we should do it again.
Yes, I think it will happen again for sure. And on that level, we've kind of joined that kind of stream collective now. Is it Team for Fun? I think that's what they're called. And we're now part of that Twitch collective now as well.
So stay tuned for awesome Twitch-related shenanigans.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
incidentally, a huge shout out to the team leader of Team for Fun, who put in an enormous amount of work.
Big time, and that is at London.
London Gaming for Fun.
There we go.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Seriously, I mean, what was it? How many hours did he put in? It was ridiculous.
50 hours.
40.
Yeah,
40, 50?
It was something like that.
A
It was
lot.
crazy. He was crazy, but we totally appreciate it, man, because
He's probably going to still be asleep, catching up by the time this goes
I
out.
think you're probably right.
And it will be well deserved as well.
Totally.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I'd love to thank people again for anyone that did tune in. And
especially for those that donated and hung out and helped spread the word.
Yeah, 100%. It was an amazing experience. Really enjoyed being part of it, and I hope we can do it again in the future, and maybe raise even more money next time.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we'll start out with the target 1,000, and we expect to, knock it out, as it were.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. But yeah, anyway, where can we find your stuff anyway, Voltoth?
On the Twitters, I am at Voltoth. On the Twitch, I am twitch.tv/Voltoth. My usual streaming schedule is a bit up in the air at the moment, as I'm kind of sorting through some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also have a Steam community, which if people contact me on either Twitter or via a Twitch message, I will let them know how to find it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, Voltoth, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, man.
Been a pleasure being here. Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Oh, 100%, my man. Once you kind of get back into your schedule on streaming or something, we'll definitely have you back on the show, my man.
Awesome.
So, I mean, Dave, should we wrap this baby up then?
Let's do that. Shall I do Mike's and not screw it up?
All right, sounds good, man. If you'd like to take part in our conversation, you can either post on our Facebook wall at facebook.com/GameOverYear.
You can tweet us at GoVR, and you can also email us at contactus@gameoveryear.net.
And you can find all of these lovely links at our website, which is gameoveryear.net. Thank you for joining us, and until next time,
Game over, yeah.